In this video, we'll be philosophizing on conducts and conductivities within mind-body connections. It's meaningful to develop the more elaborated knowledge concerning the detailed communications on existing mind-body connections, be it one is interested in optimizing one's healthy psychological functioning domain-specific to certain mind-body connections, as one may be concerned with engaging certain domain-specific conducts. And in order to improve those conducts, one may be interested in understanding the mind-body connections to engage the intra-categorical and or inter-categorical effectivenesses and efficiencies within optimizing one's conductivities within mind-body connections, improving on the existing prior self-knowledge and or self-awareness an individual has to engage the mind-body connections with concern to the particularities within one's future-oriented conduct, calibrating the conductivities of the nervous system with the direct perception conducts one engages in terms of the choice to engage in the domain-specific conduct. For example, if one wants to improve as a visual artist, be it one is a painter, one may want to learn more about the visual system of the brain and engage visual processing to sharpen one's visual acuity, engaging in distinct intra-categorical and or inter-categorical effectivenesses and or efficiencies. One may optimize within meaningful similarities across distinct internal and or external conditions amongst situations appropriate to engage the meaningful similarities within mind-body connections, that one can cultivate the reciprocal relations connected existing within mind-body connections to the subjectivo-objectivo relações návios, to the conducts one conducts in relation to improving that intra-categorical and or inter-categorical effectivenesses and efficiencies domain-specific and or related to distinct yet meaningful similarities with relation to other, in this case, visual processes, be it one may be improving their skills as a painter to be able to try to see clearer in terms of different characteristics, to be able to, on one's feet, be able to brainstorm a series of distinct, meaningful internal and or external characteristics to more closely approximate the intrinsic processes and or intrinsic properties to create aesthetic experiences meaningful to the production of meaningful artwork, and or engage in to improve the visual conductivities calibrated to one's meaningful conducts, domain specific to sharpening one's visual acuity, engage in photography. On a photography adventure, one might go for within intermissions throughout the week to take pictures of things that capture one's curiosity and experiment with different angles on meaningful similarities within meaningful similar targets for one to sharpen their eye in relation to the direction of desired meaningful effect connected to the audience one is trying to present their art in relation to communicating the meaningful concern underlying the mind-body connections, direct and or indirect, existing certain underlying psychological needs are satisfied to the exclusion of other psychological needs, in this case, meaning in life, to be able to improve communications on perhaps spreading awareness on distinct issues with toxic waste in the environment causing illness and or disease to other mind-body connections, and providing maybe some communication on how to identify within your own lawn the toxic conditions that tend to kill off different plants, amongst mostly prevent grass from growing from the existing prior intra-categorical and or inter-categorical effectivenesses and or efficiencies, to impair the growth of grass, yet to also provide within the communications connected to the artwork and or photography the treatment to be able to have a nice green grassy lawn, be it that you have contaminated soil. This allowances one to, in terms of one's meaningful concern, to sharpen the visual acuity, appropriately prioritize the meaningful concern with one's interest in connecting the underlying mind-body connections, conductivities, to the meaningful conducts one is hoping to improve the intra-categorical and or inter-categorical effectivenesses and or efficiencies, engaging the optimistic optimizations within one's direct perception to experientially encounter more of the inter-categorical and or intra-categorical effectivenesses and or efficiencies within mind-body connections, engaging in the conductivities, exercising those mind-body connection extensor muscles to provide more relief to one's underlying meaningful concern, amongst cultivate values in association with improving the intra-categorical and or inter-categorical effectivenesses and or efficiencies within the direction of desired meaningful effect one is connecting one's mind-body connections to. That's all I want to say for this video. Hope you have an awesome one. Keep moving after that.